everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast and flying solo at the moment. How's it going, everybody? We do have a lot going on, though. We had a interesting Monday Night Football. It kind of went the way you thought it would, though. Washington, you knew, wasn't going to look very good, especially with Jayden Daniels still injured. There's a lot of questions, though, when it comes to their star quarterback, similar to Lamar. Are those hamstrings going to get them back into these games, or are they really in trouble moving forward? Obviously, Huntley looked great for the Ravens over the weekend, but Washington, that offense just doesn't go if if Jayden Daniels isn't there. So through the first half, it looked like they really had a shot. They, go into half, it's tied 7-7. Mahomes is making uncharacteristic mistakes when it comes to, throwing interceptions. They really just didn't look good overall. Obviously, coming into the second half, KC kind of found their legs and really started to go. But Washington, they are in some very real trouble if they can't get Jayden Daniels back soon. That's the guy that makes everything go. All right. Still trying to get everybody in here. Excuse me. So, it's Monday Night Football definitely went the route that you thought it would go. Casey was going to go and beat him up a little bit. That team, Washington, they got to figure out how to be able to cover better when the offense isn't rolling. Now, if you're a fantasy fan and you had Worthy, you were disappointed because for whatever reason, they didn't have Xavier Worthy dialed up in that offense at all. Where is everybody? But also, we had World Series Game 3 last night, 18 innings. What an incredible spectacle, for those of you that stayed up to watch the thing, went on to the middle of the night. Pretty amazing. Obviously it's a walk-off in the 18th inning, which was pretty spectacular. Did any of you East Coast people watching, you actually stay up for that? Or did you just look at it as, hey, you know what? I'll see what the score is in the morning. I was on the West Coast. I still was like, yeah, I'll see what the score is later. Hey, what's up, buddy?
I don't know, man. I went to my whole email thing. I didn't see nothing from Bo. And then I got on this phone call real quick, and then I came back to it. And after I sent you the text message, there it was. I was like, well, Bo's playing tricks today. I got it. No big deal. By the way, Bo, I feel like I need to dock you some money. I think the network or somebody needs to dock you some money. I feel like we need a more earlier of the link coming out. Maybe like around 7 o'clock my time. I don't know what that is your time. Maybe that's like 5 o'clock your time. But Bo, you're up there. You don't even sleep. So do you sleep? I don't think you sleep. So you're good. You're good.
I mean, I don't, but also still no. What's happening, Joe?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I got to sleep late last night. I guess actually it must have been this morning when I went to bed, actually. That game.
Did you stay up and watch Game 3 there, all 18 innings of it?
Man, I did. I couldn't sleep anyway, and I was like, man, it was so good. I was like, yeah, I wasn't going to miss that game for nothing. But and again, Toronto, I got to tell you, man, I'm really impressed with Toronto. I know they didn't get the win yesterday, but I'm impressed with this ball club because there's a lot of fight in this team. And they will fight and fight and fight for it, which I think that's what we all wanted in the World Series anyway. And I got to tell you, I was a little skeptical about it, Bo. I thought this might be one of those World Series where it'll be a gentleman's sweep. They'll come in, whatever. But they're actually putting up a really good fight. It's much better World Series than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, that's why I said before it started, I thought it was going to be a 6-game, right? It just seemed like they were going to have a couple of games where they're going to come out. Now, obviously, I didn't see that beat down for Game 1, right? I thought they'd sneak by him a couple of times, but, I'll be curious to see what it looks like going forward. Anytime you have one of those really long games, there's always one team that seems to come out of it okay, and the other team just like falls apart. So I'll be curious to see what that looks like. What's happening, Win?
I think in game 1, Toronto's bats and pitching was on point. And I think in game 2, the pitching wasn't bad, but the hitting went super anemic.
I mean,
for them in game 2 for Toronto.
Had like 15 hits.
No, I mean, but I'm just saying let me rephrase that. I'm just saying getting the into scoring was anemic.
Oh yeah, nobody could drive a run in, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize. That's what I was going, or that's what I meant. And then in this game last night,
a 6-5 score, a 6-5 score with 15 hits. I mean, in 18 innings, that lets you know ain't nobody moving guys around.
No, but if you watch up until about that 7th inning, Toronto had no problems getting on base and getting guys in. I mean, it wasn't until they kind of went into extra innings that everything kind of came to a halt. And that was on both sides, for a long time. But for that first 7 innings, both the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, they had no problems getting men on base and getting men in. That was not a problem. And then everything kind of went dry. And I don't know if this is just the pitching or what.
Yeah, I mean, well, it probably didn't help that it was like.
Well, they were probably tired as hell, but.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hey, but we don't pay you. We don't pay you to get tired. With all these millions of dollars, we pay you to compete.
Well, the thing with last night too is Shohei became the first player ever to reach base 8 times in a freaking game. 9 times actually. It was 4 hits and 5 walks. He got on base all 9 times last night.
Yeah, well, and they interviewed the manager, and he's like, yeah, moving forward, they're just going to put him on base.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder, that's a good comment. I wonder what the aftermath or the second and third effects of an 18-inning game is going to have on both teams in terms of pitchers available and things like that.
Well, no, and that's exactly what I was saying is, one team usually comes out of that and the other team starts to fall apart. Like it happened to the Mariners a couple of years ago. We had a 15-inning one and your team came out of it fine and we fell apart. So I'll be curious to see what that looks like moving forward, because that's usually what happens in, a series where one goes really long. There's always a team that seems to pop out the other side of it fine. And the other one's like, yeah, that's what we had.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing though, right? Because when you look at the Dodgers injury report, there's a lot of those relief pitchers that are on the IR. So I'm thinking if you used up, they probably used up all of that last night. I'm thinking that the Toronto's probably going to come out better. No, I don't know what their bullpen looks like.
Toronto's done. They're gonna get curb stomped tonight, and they're gonna be put away tomorrow.
You think they're gonna get curb stomped?
George Springer's done, so that's already one significant blow that they're gonna have to overcome.
Oh, for sure. That was.
And then the Dodgers were in an 18-game playoff series back in 2019 when Max Muncy hit a home run. The Dodgers have been in the situation before where they went 18 innings in the NLCS and won the game, and then the next game they came out and won 10-0. So the Dodgers have been in the same position before in the playoffs. They're used to it, and pretty much everybody on this team outside of Shohei was a part of that team.
Yeah, I mean, I think mostly the Dodgers just have the better starting rotation,
and they only use Kershaw for one batter. So worst comes to worst, if the Dodgers need some relief help, you have Kershaw that you can throw out there for 3 innings versus the Blue Jays don't have anybody right now that you can count on apart from Shane Bieber to go long innings.
I mean, that is one of the strengths of the Dodgers is that they're deep, offensive and defensively. I mean, that team. I mean, and they're hot. I mean, it's not like you just have some regular players deep. They got great players deep, and so that's why it's almost. I'm really, like I said, I'm really proud of what Toronto, the product that they're putting out there, because the team they're going against is, like you said, a lot deeper, a lot more talented. They both have good cultures,
Yeah, no, I think Dustin's right in the way that they probably get beat up tonight. I think Toronto steals one more, though.
Yeah, just because of having Kershaw available for multiple innings, where even if Shohei only goes 5, you could go Kershaw the next 3 after that and save your bullpen versus the Blue Jays. You got to hope Shane Bieber can give you 6. Otherwise, your bullpen is going to be taxed for Game 5.
Yeah, no, I think Toronto snags one more, but yeah, I mean the Dodgers are. Sadly, the Dodgers are going to get this thing.
Well, it is. You know, if
I mean, we're used to seeing this win, so.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't believe anything is impossible. I don't think you guys do either. I think everybody knows that they still have a chance in it. I don't think we're dead set against them not having a chance. But you're right. I mean, it is a very insurmountable task they're going to take on tonight. But I believe that true champions, they can overcome this. You know, it just depends on what they have in the tank, emotionally and physically in the tank, mentally, all of it.
Anytime you have a long game that you come out on the wrong side of,
right,
it usually hurts you the next day.
Yeah,
that's what. How many times do you think they hit that snooze alarm to get up this morning?
They probably don't even have an alarm set. The managers probably like just sleep as late as you want. Get to the ballpark 3 hours early.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. I don't think they're, there's going to be guys that have their routines that they have to do, right? Because they're superstitious in that way. But yeah, I would imagine there's a little bit of leeway when it comes to this game's prep.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I gotta tell you though, like I said, it was just a hit. The pitch. I thought Glasnow, he got himself in a pickle early on in that, and then he kind of worked himself out. But man, what a game! That was a good game. My wife was like, "You ever go to bed?" I said, "Hell no, leave me alone." We're only in the 13th inning.
Yeah, I was like, I'll see what the score is tomorrow.
I mean, hey, had it not been for that Freeman home run, that game might still be going on because he was the only one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
He was literally the only one. The Blue Jays. What?
Wasn't the historic the fact that it went 18 innings in the World Series? Wasn't that a historic thing?
Yeah, it was the longest game, beating the old one at 17.
Yeah. You know when the last time there was a perfect game in the World Series was? Take a guess. If you had to guess a year, what year do you think it was?
Probably the 70s or 80s with Nolan Ryan.
No, I wish. I wish.
I was thinking 60s, but
you're close. 1957.
Oh, okay.
That was the last time there was a perfect game in the World Series. I didn't realize that, but they talked about that last night during the game. Y'all probably didn't stay up that late, but yeah, they talked about it.
Nope. It's funny because I mean, when you think of it being a long time, right?
Yeah.
But then when you think about how few games there are, right? If you figure the average World Series goes 5 games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually not a ton of games, right? Or even if you say it went 6, the average is 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a ton of games, really.
And you had 2 games just last night. 18
no, exactly. So you weren't going to throw a perfect game last night, no matter what happened.
Let me ask you this: hey, if the Dodgers do pull out this World Series, which I think a lot of people are expecting them to do that, if they do, would you think that? Because I probably believe Yamamoto should get the MVP. If they win the World Series, it's got to be Yamamoto.
He's got to make one. He's got to make one.
The only reason I feel like that is because of how hard it is to get complete games now. But the fact that he's got 2 in the playoffs, 2 complete games, I mean, that's crazy to me.
It'll be Ohtani. Like I don't know who you're kidding.
The World Series MVP.
So it would end up being Ohtani just because he has the batting element also.
Yeah.
The World Series is only based on what you do in the World Series too. So if Yamamoto doesn't make another start, then you're not going to give the guy the MVP based on 1 start versus Shohei's playing in all 5 games. He's already gotten multiple home runs. He's going to pitch today. Yamamoto's got to make 1 more start to at least have a shot at getting it.
And even if he did in full-length game, he still doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't have the batting element.
Yeah, and that's really what does him in, is that, like you said, is that batting element.
Well, and it's only because Ohtani's doing both, right? Yeah. If it was just Ohtani's bat, he would have a better shot.
Oh, no, I understand.
Ohtani's going to pitch also. Like nobody else on that team really has a shot at it.
Yeah. And what did Ohtani go for last night? I forgot how many hits he got. I know he got. I think it was 2. I think
He was 4 for 4 with 5 walks last night.
that's what it was for. Yeah,
And 2 home runs.
4. Yeah,
And 2 home runs.
Yeah, his on-base percentage is wild.
it's
His on-base
ridiculous.
percentage is like 2,000 at this point for the World Series.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
He's been on base like 16 times already in the World Series, and we're only 3 games in.
Has he? But he hasn't pitched even in relief. He hasn't done any. When does he do to pitch in the World Series?
His first game's tonight.
Today. Yeah.
Oh, is he pitching tonight?
Yeah.
Oh snap!
And
Okay,
that was the
who's
other-
going for Toronto?
That was the other thing the Dodgers were discussing yesterday too, where depending on how late the game was going to go, do you just throw Shohei tonight and let him go as long as you needed him to go in extras, and then you could have used Kershaw as your starter in Game 4?
No, I think they went the right route.
No, they did, but they were getting to the point where, like, because their last reliever was in the 17th and 18th inning, and this was a guy that pitched like 20 innings like the whole season in the majors, where you didn't know how many innings you were going to be able to get out of that guy just because he doesn't have a ton of innings under his arm. So if we got the inning 19 and 20, the conversation was, well, we have no choice but to go Shohei right now because we don't have anybody else in the pen that we can use, and then you still have
Hey,
Kershaw good to go for 3 or 4 innings in Game 4, and that at least sets you up a little bit having a guy like that.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's pitching for Toronto?
Bieber.
Bieber. So it's Bieber versus Ohtani. Yeah.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, so Springer, his injury, I mean, he's done, right?
It's probably an oblique, I think.
But also, yes.
Yeah. He's not playing today.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying he's playing today, but I'm saying for the series period. I mean, is he gonna be, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks too, because Springer was doing well. He was doing well.
Nobody wants that to go that way, man.
No, because the first 9 innings was
No, Joe, what the hell?
Put that negativity away, Joe. I understand the Dodgers are going to win, but let's at least give them a chance.
Hey,
I mean,
Joe
the
hasn't had his cup of coffee yet. He's speaking in delirium. Don't worry about it. We'll wait till he fully wakes up.
the first 9 innings were
He's
retired. So you can't give the
he's
Dodgers
definitely
credit.
had his coffee. It's 8 hours ahead of me. It's 7 here.
Yeah, well, he might be in that vino right now. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Joe's drinking the vino, and I know Joe says he doesn't drink, but I don't believe that. I just don't see how you in Italy and you don't drink. Wait, hold on. What's that saying? Let the
cheater
cheater sit. That's his car. Let me tell you about karma, Robert. I understand why you made that comment. And by the way, Rob, I got much love for you, man. Don't like Brad so much, but I got love for you. Robert. I'm just kidding, Brad. You're a good dude. I don't care.
Brad's not going to be here anyway.
No, but hey, listen, Robert. Listen, I just want you to tell me in the comments, how did it feel when Springer took you out with that home run? How did it feel that even though you weren't playing the Astros, a former Astro took your ass out? And he was on the 2017 team. How did it feel? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm off.
I mean, he's just going to come back with,
that.
how was it sitting and watching the entire playoffs?
It felt good. No, it felt good because I take no heat from nobody. Like, sit here and just talk about it. That felt pretty good. Because you know why? You know why, Robert? Because we're going to be there next year. We're going to be there.
Maybe.
We'll be back.
Maybe.
Let me ask you this. This is a serious question. Could the Mariners have done what the Astros did, given the amount of injuries by the way, there was 17 injuries through the course of the season, 17 injuries. Yep. Could the Mariners have done what we did? And the fact that we were even almost in it, could they have done that?
So they did do that, actually. The middle of the season, we had a bunch of our starting pitchers go down. So
no. I mean, all the way through the season. Because if you remember the Astros, we didn't have Pena. There was like several key players that we didn't have. I'm just saying the Mariners have done that. Yeah.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. And we did, is we lost we didn't have Kirby for half the season. We had Gilbert out for a significant amount of time. Yeah, no, I mean, it was, we actually did have a lot of players get injured this year. They just happened to come back at the right time.
What do you mean, the 51st status? What does that mean? I don't know. What is that? It was only, what does it mean about
he's saying
51st status?
Canada is going to be the next.
Oh, is that? You would think, I forgot about. I forgot all about that.
We can't include Canada as a state. We'd have to take all their provinces as individual states. Otherwise, that would be one massive.
Hey,
state.
listen, we can personally do that and tax the hell out of it and take the tax burden off of the majority of us. I'm good with that.
The thing that's funny about that is there's actually the population of Canada isn't huge.
No, it's not. It's
And,
not. It's
I
not.
mean, it's and funny enough, they get taxed more than we do. So if they were to come on in, assimilate, so to speak, they'd be like, "Oh, we got a tax break." I mean, they'd hate their health care, but or
Well, I don't know, but I've always wondered about. No, seriously, I've always wondered about. So Canada, I know is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a governmental healthcare, right? Where you don't pay into it, but you can get seen. I know there's a long wait time. I think that was the con I heard about it, right?
You pay into it.
That there's a long wait time, but you don't have to.
There is. Yeah, there is. So I'm familiar with it just because we're close to Canada. We have a lot of Canadian friends. But yeah, you do wait a long time, and they do pay into it. Like they do have a high tax rate that helps pay for all those things. So you don't pay for it directly.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they pay through their taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
because like for example, they don't have to worry about health insurance because they got the free health care, but you pay through your taxes. Yeah, that's what I got. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there is long wait times.
But let me ask you this: but by going that medical route,
okay.
Let me ask you this: but by going that long, but by going with their healthcare system, how good is the quality of healthcare versus the U.S.? Because I think that's where the U.S. kicks the shit out of Canada. Well, I think we have more specialists and we have more. You know what I'm talking about?
It depends on
what they have.
It depends on what you need. Like they have elements that work well. And obviously some of the specialists, we have an edge on them just because our systems are for profit. So we just tend to innovate a little more here. But no, I mean, they have good healthcare overall. But yeah, I mean, it's long wait times and, there are deficiencies, but there's deficiencies in ours too.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I know. And I think probably if worse came to worse, they could probably fly to the U.S. if they needed some sort of specialized treatment that Canada couldn't give, or if we get better, like for example, organ transplants, things like that, they probably would, or cancer, because we have some of the great cancer institutes. I would imagine if I lived in Canada, I would be, if I knew I was in that situation, I would come to the U.S. for treatment. I'm sure they can figure that out.
Now Rob's pushing the envelope a little bit.
Whether they get a passport, visa, whatever.
MLB is not a U.S. sport, considering how we weren't the even ones that founded Major League Baseball. MLB is more so a Caribbean and Dominican sport that migrated here.
No, I mean, plus it's not like Toronto's the only Canadian team. Like the Expos existed for a long time,
right? And then you look at the independent leagues, which obviously not a people pay attention to that, but like. The independent leagues has 5 Canadian teams, and the last 3 champions are from the Canadian teams. Like, I mean, they have some talent.
For sure. I mean, I don't know. That would be like saying the NHL has to be Canadian, right? Even though they haven't won a Stanley Cup in forever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least baseball, because they have an international team, technically. At least when their ring says world champ, it makes sense.
Right.
Like when you look at the Super Bowl, it's world champ. It's like, I mean, kind of. I get like the players are from all over the world, but we don't.
So are they though? Like how many players that play in the NFL are not from America? Probably
tons of them.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Look at the offensive lines.
Yeah.
Like What are you
Wait,
talking
hold
about?
on. Hold on, but you said that baseball was invented in Dominican, or are you just being sarcastic?
No, like baseball's called America's pastime, but we weren't the ones that actually had baseball first. Like the Dominican Republic and the Caribbean actually had forms of baseball first, and then it was brought here, and we were the ones that actually turned it into what it is now. But initially, it was from the Caribbean.
They had stickball.
Yeah.
That's what they had. Like that's
If you're gonna tell me, hey, they grabbed a stick and a ball and hit the ball, is that really inventing baseball? Or is that just hitting the ball with the stick?
I mean, people
Because
played
last time I
basketball with a wicker basket.
the Knickerbockers are the ones that came up with the diamond shape. I'll read it to you. No single person invented baseball. It evolved from older bat and ball games, which you are correct, like the British game rounders. So if you want to say the British, then I guess I could kind of get on board with that. The myth that Abner Doubleday invented it was debunked by historians. The modern version of the game can largely be attributed to the work of Alexander Cartwright and the New York Knickerbockers, who codified rules like the diamond-shaped infield and the three-strike rule in 1845. So I don't know that I think they had a game where they were hitting the ball, if you want to say that, and whatever, prehistoric baseball, okay, great. But the actual game of baseball was actually by Cartwright and the Knickerbockers. That's where all the rules and the diamond shapes and all that we know now. So let's be careful about who invented baseball. That's I don't know if I would agree with that.
That's why I said it. Like they played a form of stickball.
Yeah.
You can say that it was evolved from all kinds of stuff because, I mean, cricket has similar elements as well. I mean, it's an evolution of a lot of different games.
The rules are what makes up baseball, right? How they operate the game, how the game is done. I mean, but I understand what you're saying. There are other things that are similar to baseball. And if you want to say it's derived from that, then I can get on board with that.
Well, I mean, of course it was influenced by other things. I mean, every sport has been, right? I mean, every modern sport was evolved from something that was not what it is today.
Naismith is the founder of basketball. I will not accept anything less.
What's that? Your signal.
Didn't Naismith, isn't he the guy that invented basketball? It's Naismith, right? Am I right on that? The inventor of basketball?
I don't know offhand.
I'm pretty sure it's Naismith.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think he's one that named the game basketball, but I don't know if he's the one that actually invented the game basketball when someone used to play it with like a wicker basket tied to a pole.
Well, yeah. And what, it was basically a soccer ball that they were shooting.
Yeah, it was like a soccer ball on a wicker basket tied to a pole.
Yeah. So I mean, it's again, they all just kind of evolved.
Yeah, James Naismith. James Naismith. He's the modern day, I guess you want to call it modern day basketball. He's the one that created it.
Yeah. Well, and that's always the thing, is it's just whoever turned it into what it is today. Because I mean, there was probably some random kid that was.
No, I think how it came about. Hey, here's how it was invented. Hey, watch this. So Naismith was tasked. Somebody told him. So he was tasked with creating a new indoor game to keep students active during the cold New England winters. So somebody said, "Hey, Naismith, we need you to make an indoor game so that way we could do something during the winter." And that's how we got basketball.
There you go. Yeah. So
the first actual game was in 1891.
Yeah. So we've been talking about coaches on the hot seat for the last couple of weeks, right?
Sure.
Minnesota's Vikings coach is officially on the hot seat after the shit that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Tell the
well, you guys all saw what happened. You guys saw what all happened to Carson Wentz.
I like how he does that. It's like a setup.
Well, no, because I figured you guys all saw what happened to Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz.
Well, I know he's having shoulder surgery.
Yeah, he basically got put on season-ending IR with shoulder surgery. Carson Wentz fractured his shoulder in the second half of the London game against the Cleveland Browns, which was 3 weeks ago. Yep. The Vikings knew about that injury, but yet Kevin O'Connell threw him out there for 2 more games because he was afraid to put the other rookie in because McCarthy was still recovering from his ankle injury. So not only did you put a quarterback with a broken shoulder out there for 2 additional games, now he's got a torn labrum. Now he's got to have surgery. Now he's probably never going to play again because he's not in good shape right now.
Hey, I love this. So the moniker quarterback killer. Hey, the moniker quarterback killer is a self-deprecating nickname Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell gave himself for being highly selective about the quarterback prospect he endorses. I don't know, man. I saw something about that the other day when he's talking about quarterback killer and then he's talking about Wentz going down and all that kind of stuff.
Kevin O'Connell's not a quarterback killer. He's always been known as like the quarterback whisperer because every quarterback that comes into his system has thrived.
No. He's whispering to him. He's like, "You're gonna die."
Like this is the first year. This is the first year that his thought process is not working. But yeah, like that is, he's taking a lot of heat for the way.
Yeah, either my internet's going down.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't have to hide information. You don't have to be like, "Hey, you know what happened in the news? You should go look."
Like, yeah, well, like the thing, like I love O'Connell as a head coach because he's done a lot of great things with the young quarterbacks that he's had. But if you know that
it's sometimes there's a fill in the blank. Everything he says ends with the fill in the blank, and then
if you're starting quarterback McCarthy,
he's waiting for Google to load.
if you're starting quarterback is out with an injury, right? You're already taking your time, like letting McCarthy get to 100%. You're letting him take his time to get to that point. Yeah. Why the hell, if you know that your other quarterback has a broken shoulder, are you throwing him out there for 2.5 more games?
Because you're trying to keep pace in the division. That's the thought process behind it. And I mean, it's
you've lost 2 games in a row because he has a broken shoulder.
Yeah, what the thought process is there is even with a broken shoulder, he's still better than his other option. Is the way that you're seeing that from the outside, right? So it's
not on Thursday night. We weren't seeing that from the outside. I wanted Wentz to be out by the end of the first quarter on Thursday night because you could tell at the first quarter that he was in so much pain he couldn't even be out there.
Yeah, and Wentz could have said no. You're absolutely right. Like
damn right he could have.
Some of that's on the player for sure. Like if you're
it is on a player too. But like as a competitor, you're not going to be like, no, I don't want to be out here because like I'm getting paid to play. And like Wentz has always been known to be like a tough player that plays through injuries. You saw it in Philadelphia with his back. You've seen it several other times in his career with like his ankle and his knee. Like he's not going to.
I mean, that's just football players. Like I played with broken stuff a ton of times. You know what I didn't play with was a torn tendon in my thumb. Because you know what you can't do if you can't hardly move your thumb? Just catch the ball.
Yeah. Well, like as a head coach, or even like a quarterback's coach or anything, you see these guys every day in practice. You see them every day on the field. You should have been able to tell in that first quarter against the Chargers on Thursday that Wentz was not right and had no business being out there for the whole game just to get lit up. Like he already had the broken shoulder. He was already playing through pain, and by throwing him out there another 2 games, you made it so much worse.
Yeah, but they were still thinking they had a better chance with Wentz than with their next option. So that lets you know how little they believe in their third option.
I mean, you had the Eagles and the Chargers. I don't think they had a chance with no matter who they were going to throw out there the last 2 games.
I think a healthy Wentz would have had a shot.
No, I'm not feeling sad that we let Darnold walk because I knew going into the offseason we were not going to pay Darnold what he was looking to get. So I was fine with him hitting the market. He earned what he was going to get.
The thing that's funny is that he didn't get paid that much. He got
he didn't, but like
contract. You guys could have easily paid that.
We were gonna franchise tag him, which is $22 million. And I had a feeling that Darnold wasn't going to take the franchise tag for $22 million, which if that's the case. No, exactly. So, like, I knew Minnesota said going in they were going to franchise tag Darnold, but I kind of figured that Darnold was not going to take it. So I think Minnesota said, you earned the opportunity to hit the market to see what you can get. If you don't get what you're looking for, we still have the franchise tag on the table for you to come back again. So I kind of figured he was going to be gone no matter what. I'm upset we let Daniel Jones go. We offered Daniel Jones $14 million. The Colts offered him $17 million. What I found out a couple weeks after he signed with the Colts, the only reason why he took the Colts deal over the Vikings deal is because he felt that he had a better chance to be the starter in Indy versus Minnesota, meaning no matter how good Daniel Jones played for the Vikings over the summer, and even if he outplayed McCarthy in practice, a lot of people thought no matter how bad McCarthy played, the job was going to be his heading into this season. So if Daniel Jones would have signed a 1-year deal to stay in Minnesota, and then goes and completely balls out in the preseason, goes and balls out like all summer, there was a chance that McCarthy was still going to be that starting quarterback, which is ultimately why Daniel Jones left. Like, that's the one that pisses me off.
You knew he was because you watched that exact scenario with Darnold.
Yeah, that's
like,
the one
so
that
you knew
pisses me
for a
off.
fact that McCarthy was still going to be their path forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Daniel Jones wanting to go to a team where he had a real shot to get the starting role makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I'm more so mad that Minnesota let Daniel Jones go as opposed to Sam Darnold, because for $17 million, you could have afforded Daniel Jones to stay there another year, and then you could have reassessed it from there. If he has a good year like he's having with the Colts, well, guess what? Daniel Jones is still only 28. You can give him another 2-3 year deal after that.
Well, and the thing is I'm still not convinced that McCarthy is the guy.
I'm not either.
I've been saying wasn't convinced that McCarthy was the guy when they drafted him, and I was persecuted over saying that by a lot of people. I'm not going to say who, but there were people who were persecuted. And I've been saying how I didn't think JJ was the guy. I think he's a good backup quarterback, but I don't think he's the guy. I would have kept Sam Darnold over McCarthy.
I think he can be serviceable. I don't think he's going to be great. And no, I don't think anybody was really mad about Jones because nobody knew he was going to come out and play like he has been this year.
And if you know, what is the one thing that the Colts have done this year that's helped Daniel Jones? He has Jonathan Taylor playing at an MVP level right now.
Sure.
And right now, Jonathan Taylor's on pace to have a better season than what Saquon had last year. He's on pace to have more yards, and I think Saquon ended up with 16 touchdowns last year. Taylor's on pace for 24 right now. So
now,
I
mean, the difference for Saquon is the tush push. So there were
I get it.
There was at least 10 touchdowns that could have been his in every other system.
Exactly, but I'm just saying, like, Taylor's on pace to surpass everything that Barkley did last year. Like right now, Taylor would be the unanimous MVP if MVP voting came out right now. But the thing that is what made Jones.
I disagree with that, but
yeah, I do too. I think Jonathan Taylor's having a great season though.
Offensive player of the year for sure, but he wouldn't be the front runner for the MVP.
That's what made
Jones. Can I say one thing? Irsay's daughters have really, really improved that. I like what they're doing. They're down there taking notes. They're down there talking to players. They're down there getting involved, getting their hands dirty. I mean, if you're going to be a hands-on type of owner like Jerry tries to be, then get down there and take the notes, study it, know all the intricacies, and because that's one of the biggest things I think in this team. Yes, Daniel Jones did a great job coming in and being a good quarterback, and Jonathan, but it all has kind of stemmed from this Irsay's daughters and how they're approaching this Colts team.
Well, that's what made Jones.
I wish we had the Colts owners. Be honest with you.
That's what made Jones so successful in New York that one year was because he had a healthy Saquon Barkley that it was able to take so much off his plate. When Saquon Barkley was hurt all the other years that Jones was with the Giants, so much pressure was on Daniel Jones to do so much more than what he should have been asked to do, which is when you saw
it didn't help that his offensive line was Swiss.
Agree, but you can't expect Daniel Jones to throw 45 passes a game and be successous. And when Saquon,
he didn't even have a true wide receiver one. He had scrubbed wide receivers for the most part.
When Saquon was out, Jones was throwing 40, 45 passes a game, and that's when he's going to turn it over 2 or 3 times because you can't expect him to do that. The year that he went to the playoffs with Saquon, he averaged 23 passes a game. This year with the Colts, he's averaging 24 passes a game. That's where he needs to be because he's going to make mistakes the more he throws the ball. But if he's got that one running back that can take so much off his plate, you have the defense focusing on that running back, then it opens up all these single coverage throws down the field, which he's completely dialed in right now.
No, that's why I made the comparison that he is the Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff. He's that kind of guy. He's that team manager. He needs a good team around him, but you can absolutely win with him.
Yeah, you can.
You got to have a good team around him. He's not Superman.
No, he's not.
So as long as you got a good running game, you can keep him protected. The defense can keep you in it if he makes a mistake. Derek Carr, you could put in that as well. That's the comp I have for him. Is he is that, above average thrower of the ball as long as he's protected. Soon as he has to make off schedule throws, stuff like that, that's where the decision making drops way off. So as long as you can keep him upright, give something the defense to focus on the running game. I mean, he can be good. You can win with him.
Speaking of the AFC too, I think the Chicago Bears right now are regretting not taking Drake May. because Drake May looks
He's
miles like the best quarterback.
I mean,
out
I
of
would regret not taking Drake May when I'm stuck with Caleb Williams. I'm not a Caleb
Like,
Williams
Caleb Williams
guy.
might, like, out of those 6 quarterbacks that were drafted in the first round, Caleb Williams might be the 5th best.
I mean, I think just about everybody thought he was overdrafted anyway.
He was,
Yeah.
but like you look at how Nix Daniels and May have played. Nix Daniels and May should have been the top 3 picks because they've come out and they've looked the part of a franchise quarterback. And then you have Caleb Williams and Michael Penix, who they have the potential to be franchise quarterbacks, but they're both projects yet. Penix is dealing with an injury right now. He didn't start until week 13 or week 14 last year. So he's only got like 7 career starts. So like both of them are kind of in their project stage where you don't know what you have in the guy yet. And then you have McCarthy, who's started 2 games because he's been hurt. So like you have the 3 guys that have started the last 2 years that should have been the top 3 picks. And then you have the other 3 guys that should have been kind of the later first round picks where it probably would have been beneficial to sit Penix for a year, which they almost did if Cousins didn't suck up the joint. McCarthy did sit for a year, but not realistically because he was hurt and couldn't do anything. And if Caleb Williams was in a different situation, he probably sits for that first year.
No, as high as he was drafted, he was getting.
No, I'm saying if he would have been drafted like where Bo Nix was.
I mean,
Like-
I think Jay's like
yeah, I think
a little
once
delayed on the show too.
Like because Bo Nix was drafted 12. If Caleb Williams would have been drafted 12 and Bo Nix would have been drafted 3, depending on the situation that Williams would have been drafted to, if he would have been a lower pick, he probably would have had an opportunity to sit right away because you probably are drafting him more to a team that has a veteran starter in the final year of his deal where it's like Williams is our future, but we're just going to sit him for X amount of games just to kind of learn behind you and kind of go from there.
The thing is his attitude is what wouldn't let that work.
Oh God, his dad's attitude too.
Well, I mean, yeah, just collectively, like they just the attitude wouldn't allow. I mean, he couldn't take coaching from coaches. Every time he had a player try and say something to him, he just kind of rolled his eyes, and so I mean, it's just yeah, I think he gets in his own way more than anything.
Right.
Go ahead, Jay.
If you know, I'm just wondering, since now that Ben Johnson is there and he didn't draft Caleb Williams, I wonder what he's thinking because I know he's trying to instill his culture in that team, and it seems like Caleb Williams is kind of going against the grain of that type of culture he's wanting to instill.
So the thing that's interesting with Caleb is he doesn't seem to adapt as the game goes.
Yeah.
So like if you watch him in the first 15 scripted plays,
amazing every time.
Does good, right? Because he knows what they are before the game starts, right? Soon as you get outside of that window, that gameplay drops way off.
Yeah, he looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, so it's seems to be a lack of processing power.
like the way I've seen it with the Bears so far, Ben Johnson is being patient with Caleb Williams because this is the second offense in 2 years that Caleb Williams has to learn. It's a lot more of a complex offense than what Caleb Williams had last year because Ben Johnson is more detail-oriented and more of a complex head coach. But this is also a ticking time bomb waiting to happen where if it ends up working out, great. The Bears have a franchise quarterback. Ben Johnson is going to be viewed as like a genius to change Caleb Williams around. But if things continue to trend the way they have been trending, that relationship in Chicago is going to explode, and Ben Johnson is going to want his own guy probably within the next 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's going to need to see a massive step forward for him to be excited about where they're at.
Like this year, I think it's just going to be a learning curve for both guys just because of the new scheme, the new coach, the new style. So this year, I think it's going to be what you've seen out of Caleb Williams so far is what you're going to get the rest of the way. You're going to have some goods, you're going to have some bads.
The thing is like I said before the season started, you can have a losing record as a Bears fan and be encouraged about what's going forward, right? Yeah. Like they have a lot of pieces that are upgrades from last year, including coaching. They fixed the offensive line, specifically the interior. He has weapons. The defense has gotten better. So now the question mark is Caleb Williams directly, right? So then, you know, they happen to be in a really tough division, The other 3 teams are no joke. So you could potentially end up with a, 7-win team and be like, hey, we have our thing for the future, because that division will cannibalize itself. The other teams are, further ahead. So you could actually have that moral victory. I'm not a fan of those, but like in this scenario, in this scenario, that the rest of the teams are just a step further ahead at the moment, but you can feel good about it. What we're seeing out of Caleb is he the guy? And
next year will be the key year. Like if Caleb Williams gets off to like another inconsistent start next year, we'll say even the first 4 games where he has 2 good games and then 2 not so good games. If he's inconsistent those first 4 games next year in year 3, that's when you can start seeing a lot more kind of, I think, heated exchanges between Johnson and Williams, where it's going to be like, dude, so year 2 in our system now, year 3 in the league. Like, these are things that you can't do anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing you are seeing a little less of is some of his head case mentality. So you are seeing a little less of that. But
hold on, I'm just going to ask a question. Hold on. Donna, I see you put the Eagles and the Bears in there. So who is your main team? And then I guess who would be the side piece?
Well, and it's funny because usually if someone has 2 teams, it's from each conference, right? They have an AFC favorite and an NFC favorite. It's interesting that you have 2 in the same.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's weird to me.
Do you have that, Bo?
What?
A favorite team in each conference, or is this just straight Seahawks?
I'm a Seahawk fan. The other team that I like, so I like the Ravens. I don't so much root for them, but I like the way they have. I always liked their defense. I guess I should say is. So I always like the brand of defense they put out there outside of this year where it's hot trash. But for like almost 20 years, they always had one of the elite defenses, and I always appreciate defensive play. So I was always a Ravens fan.
What about you, JD? Do you have that or just the one?
Man, I'm sorry. I was still stuck on Donna. What happened?
Plus, I have, a little bit of.
Do you have like a favorite team in each conference, or are you just straight Cowboys?
No. Listen. I can't do the side piece thing, Donna. I think if Pags knew that you were cheating on him with another team, he might be a little sad to see that. No, in all honesty, I can't, man. I'm a one-team type of person. I'm a Cowboys. If I wasn't a Cowboys fan, though, and I was to go to another team, which will never happen, but if that was to happen, it would be the Houston Texans. I have a code of conduct. It goes country, state, city. That's my priority list, right? And sometimes even Texas takes priority over the United States because at one time we were a country. But that's besides the point. No, so I never go outside my state. If you know one thing about Jay, he never would go outside and root for a team from a different state. That just would never happen. I'm a Texas native. I'm an old person. So, but no, I'm a Cowboys guy, Houston guy. That's
No, and I'm that way for all of my local teams, right? Like it's I'm a
not me.
I know you're a bandwagoner. I get it.
I'm not a bandwagoner. I just hate every damn team in Wisconsin.
But
man, listen, if you knew where he lived at, that's a rough little area out there. It's a rough spot of town.
If I had to pick an AFC team, I'd pick Houston just because I always liked their logo when they came into the league. But if I'm gonna for when it comes to the Vikings, I'm pretty much sold when the season starts that we're not making a Super Bowl because we have to go through the Packers, we have to go through all these good teams consistently in the NFC. It's well, we can get to the playoffs, but we're probably not getting further than that. So it's always nice to have that team in the AFC to root for, even though the Texans probably aren't going to do the same thing until Mahomes and Lamar and Josh Allen and all these other guys leave either.
See,
so this was fun because it's the same division even.
Okay. And I explained my reasoning for it. It was the same reason why I was rooting for Seattle in the playoffs this year. If you have never made an NBA final and Super Bowl, World Series, whatever, if my team is not in the playoffs, of course I am going to root for somebody that has never been there before. Regardless if it's in my division or not, I'm still going to root for them to get to the championship game because Their fan base deserves it. They've struggled, like especially when it comes to the Lions. They've been a franchise for almost 100 years, and they have never seen a Super Bowl. Like if you're still a fan of that team, like whether it's like through your generation, like if your grandparents were a fan of the Lions, then they pass it down to your parents, then they pass it down to you, and then you pass it down to your kids. Like if your entire family's been a Lions fan since they became a team, yes, I want you guys to make a Super Bowl. So if my team's not in the playoffs yet, I'm going to root for the Lions to get there because they deserve it. They deserve to get there. They've sucked for so long, and now they finally have a competent head coach and a competent ownership group that is willing to put the work in to build a team from the ground up, which they have done. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it would be cool to see him win one, right? But I'm not rooting for him.
And like in what Robert said, though, if you ask a lot of Viking fans, they were rooting for Detroit after we lost last year. Like a lot of the Viking fans that I know, a lot of people that I know from Minnesota when I used to live in Minnesota for a while, they were rooting for the Lions once the Rams beat the Vikings.
Well, what I hear from you, Dustin, hold on. What I hear from Dustin, what I'm taking it from all of Dustin is he's a fan of the AFC or the NFC North. He's just a North fan.
No, I will never
pick a team. He's in there. Like Robert said. All Robert said is that hey, when the Vikings poop the bed, he goes straight to Detroit.
So for me, I'm not going to go root for another team, but I will root against a team, right?
Oh, no, I have no problems with that.
Yeah. So like, so when it comes to the World Series right now, I'm not rooting for Toronto, but I am rooting against LA. So it just happens that, Toronto's who's playing them. So I want Toronto to win, but mostly because I just want LA to lose.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I was really hard on who I was going to pull for in this series. Because on one hand, I hate to see a Canadian team beat an American team. Again, it goes back to country, state, and city, right? That's my loyalties are. But then I realized I hate when Jonathan Mathis gets on Facebook and starts talking about the Dodgers. So then I'm like, well, damn. Now I hate the Dodgers so much that I'm willing to forego my loyalty to the U.S. and actually pull for a Canadian team. And I never thought that would happen. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much.
So since we were talking about overdrafted quarterbacks, we do have Tua here that they really just should stop letting him go onto the podium.
Yeah, I think with that, some of it has to do with being able to see guys, with their guys also up front and our guys. And I'm not the tallest guy in the back there either. So being able to see, and then, sometimes when that happens, you don't want to just throw it blindly.
So his excuse for not hitting Waddle was he's too small.
Hey, Tua, what happened over there? Well, Coach, what happened was, I lacked another foot of height. So I couldn't see him, Coach. I couldn't see him, Coach. That's not on me. That's on him.
Did Drew Brees ever have a problem finding people?
Even if it's true, you can't say that.
Yeah. Like, did Drew Brees ever have a hard time finding people? Did Russell Wilson ever have a hard time finding people the first 10 years?
Yes, he did.
Not
he
like
sure did.
Really? Even when they were going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Why do you think he's so good at the bomb? Because those plays take long enough. The passing lane's open.
Well, yeah.
When he had a ball in front of him, Russell Wilson missed a lot of people.
Drew Brees never had an issue finding people, and he was, 5'10"? Like, you can't say I'm too short.
He had a great offensive line when he was winning a lot.
Could you see that comment? So Tua tells Mike McDaniel. Mike goes, give me the equipment trainer. Yeah, equipment trainer. Yeah, we got some platform shoes. I need about a 6-inch heel.
There you go. Out there in
pumps. Out there in platform shoes. You can't see them. We'll just grow you taller. Or maybe you scramble left or scramble right to where you can see him, or whatever you got to do, and then throw the damn ball.
So that's the thing is, I mean, even if we all think it and we all see it, there's things that you just can't say on the podium because the problem is that lives out there forever. And anything that you're mic'd up for, will come back at you forever, right? Darnold is working on his second really good season in a row. Every time there's a tough opponent coming up, the first thing that's brought up is he's going to see ghosts. So, I mean, and yeah, this is exactly it. He couldn't hit the middle or a tight end because he couldn't see them.
Yeah.
We never used tight ends accurately because there was a D end in the way all the time and he couldn't see him. So, plus he just wanted to throw moon balls forever, right? Just for whatever reason. It's like, oh, I have this nice outlet pass that I can see right in front of me, or I'm just going to huck it 50 yards and hope it works out.
50 yards deep, 30 yards high. Hope it comes down somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, my name is Russell Hail Mary Wilson. That's what I do. That's how I am.
And then, since we only have a few minutes left, we might as well land on something funny. So this was after Colorado got absolutely smoked. Dion.
This is bad. It's probably the worst beating I've ever had, except for when my mama whooped me as a kid. 422 yards rushing. You ain't winning. You're not winning. At 300 yards, you're not winning. 250, you're not winning. It's not capable. Total offense, 140 yards, you're not winning. You're not winning. They had 587 yards of total offense. You're not winning. With that, special teams gave up a fake punt as well as a block punt. You're not winning. So all three phases, we got our butts kicked. Kicked. Let's go.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He said I ain't had a whooping like that since my mama whooped me.
And he's not lying either. I mean, they were down at half. It was like 45-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were getting absolutely destroyed. And
so,
I
so
actually
even if he was going to be in the running for the Penn State game, when he goes, or Penn State team, he goes in there for the interview. I mean, how does that work? So Dion, could you tell us about that big blowout loss he just took?
Big difference.
well, I mean, there's a lack of talent compared to the
If he
team.
goes to Penn State, he's getting 5-star recruits left and right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Colorado,
Oh yeah.
you might get 1 or 2 5-star recruits, and now that the Sanders kids are gone and Travis Hunter, you're not getting those 5-star recruits anymore. Now you're back to the old 2 and 3-star recruits that Colorado's
What's
had.
going on though with Colorado? I mean, with all these other teams that are getting up in there, I mean, for the crying out loud, University of Houston's in there, Georgia Tech's in there. I mean, highly ranked Georgia Tech, by the way. Why can't and Dion is a big name? Why can't Colorado field those kinds of players
Because
and turn that team around?
Nebraska's taking them for the NIL money. Like
Yeah,
a
I
lot
mean,
of
that's
it,
the
a lot
thing
of
is
the, a lot
So
of
is
these,
Colorado just not willing to give out the NIL money? Is that what you're saying?
it's not that they're not
Volume
willing
of the
to
money.
give out the NIL. You have to have donors willing to donate to your program. So Colorado last year had, I think, $67 or $70 million in NIL money. A lot of that had to do because you had Deion Sanders' kids there and you had Travis Hunter there. They wanted to support the program financially to keep those guys there.
Yeah.
The year after these guys leave, Colorado, I'm going to say only because it still sounds like a lot, but Colorado only has $22 million in NIL money this year. They lost about $50 million just because Sanders and Hunter left. You
I
look
mean,
at
to give you an idea how much more revenue the other schools get compared to
Nebraska's
Colorado,
getting $150 million a year.
they just ate that contract for
Brian Kelly.
LSU's coach.
Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly. Thank you. They just ate all of that just to move on from it.
Yeah, and he's making
Right.
he's got $56 million buyout or $52 million buyout.
I saw that.
LSU is probably getting $100 to $150 million a year in NIL money from their donors.
Exactly. Whereas Colorado is getting
Getting $20 million a
So,
year.
so is it basically just a booster program of Colorado is not wealthy?
So it's all of like anybody that's graduated from the university, anyone that's been a part of the
Yeah.
university is what funds the NIL system for sports. But
so
if
to
you,
answer your question, in essence, yes.
yeah, but if you don't have like a good reputation of being successful in sports, your donors aren't going to fund the athletic program because they're like, you guys sucked when we were there. Like, we're not going to put money into a program that's not winning. Like, you have to build up a winning culture to have these donors fund. The only exception is Indiana. Now Indiana's winning, so now like your donor, Indiana has $485 million in NIL money they funded the last 2 years. Like these donors now are funding galore for Indiana because Indiana football is good now. But before they got Kirk Signetti, you couldn't get these donors in Indiana to give them anything because Indiana was terrible at football.
Yeah. So, and this lets you know that the college sports has become a professional league. Is they're eating coaches' salaries at the $50+ million range multiple times this year already.
That tells you how much damn money is in their booster program, because that's a lot of dough to eat.
Yeah, that's the whole point for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, that gets us to the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, we will be raffling off our here we go. The NFL Draft Seahawk Cups as soon as we hit 1250, which we're only, I think, 12 subscribers away. So if you have friends that
ain't nobody want that garbage. Ain't nobody want that garbage.
Oh, Jay had to go home. But
He
no,
is
it's
home.
so anyway, so we raffle stuff off when we get to 1250, which we're only 12 subscribers away. We send those out. So anyway, be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Give Jay the middle finger. See you, everybody.